Is liberty dying where you live? Escape to Keene at freekeene.com. So we're out here in front of the town hall event with some folks holding a Don't Tread on Me flag. Also, Defend Our Constitution signs, and thank you, Senator Ayotte. Now, what was your name again for the audience?
Valerie Ogden.
All right, Valerie, thanks for taking the time. Valerie, what brings you out today?
We're here to support Kelly Ayotte for her, while she's being bashed by some folks on the other side for her vote on the Second Amendment, the amendment.
So she voted in favor of it?
I believe she did. Was it the Manchin Toomey Amendment?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yep,
I don't really pay attention to what goes on with the federal government, but I appreciate that some people are interested in that. Now, the Don't Tread on Me flag, what's that mean to you?
The rattlesnake, if I may.
Sure. And who are you? I'm sorry.
I'm John Diefenbach.
Hi, John.
From
Thanks.
Mason,
Great.
home of Uncle Sam. The rattlesnake represents a position our government took back with the first Navy, back in the 1700s, late 1700s, and also the Marines took. The rattlesnake will never bother you unless you approach it and corner it. If you tread on it, it will strike.
Sure.
This is what the ships flew that went into Tripoli back in the early part of the 18th century.
So,
19th century, excuse me.
Would you say that it embodies sort of a revolutionary spirit?
I wouldn't say revolutionary. The revolution was over then. We just wanted to live as we wanted to live. Free of the tyranny of Britain.
Now, what about the tyranny of the federal government? How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's coming.
You don't think it's here?
Oh, I think it's here.
Okay.
I really do. But that's my opinion, here in various ways.
I need to make a correction, too.
Sure.
Senator Ayotte voted against that amendment that Senators Manchin and Toomey had submitted in Washington.
What do you think about the tyranny of the federal government, Valerie?
I think it's far overreaching and it needs to stop.
How do you feel about, and anyone can answer, how do you feel about secession?
Secession?
Secession.
How about nullification?
Okay, that's pretty good.
Okay, 10th Amendment, nullification.
I like that.
Any
I like
laws
nullification.
that the federal government makes, the states have a problem with, the states can vote to separate themselves in that aspect from the federal government.
What if people have a problem with the...
We have a situation right now in Kansas, by the way. They voted nullification. It passed the House, the governor signed it. Yesterday, Eric Holder, Attorney General Eric Holder, sent a letter that was received yesterday in Kansas, and he has a problem with that. He has a problem with their nullification.
What's he going to do about it?
We don't know. I mean, he'll step in if he has to.
So let's go all the way, though. What about full secession? I mean, because nullification's good, but why not nullify all the way? What is it that New Hampshire needs from the federal government?
Well, let's take Obamacare.
You want Obamacare?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you don't need that, right?
No, sir.
So what do you need from the federal government?
Peter, go ahead. You're doing good.
You want to defend the Constitution?
Well, I think the principal reason we're here is we don't want to spend down the Second Amendment or any other parts of the Bill of Rights, for that matter. That's what it's about.
But what do you think about secession? I understand why you're here today, but let's talk about the future. So what do you think about secession?
Oh, I'm opposed to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I would prefer to have the country strong and united.
What's the benefit to you for that?
I love this country. I'm an American citizen.
So it's more of an idea than anything practical.
And I believe in the country and the Constitution.
Okay. Do you believe in the federal government?
I believe in the country and the Constitution, governed under a Constitution, a nation of laws,
and what do you feel like the benefit
is?
is?
We've strayed quite away from that.
Okay. And so you want to get to the Constitution, a place of, what, more freedom for people? Would that be your intentions there?
I would just like...
Unless you're black, because there's the whole 3/5 of a person.
I believe in equality for all people.
Okay. So why don't we move beyond the Constitution? It was a good try. Like, it was a really good idea, but as Lysander Spooner put it in the late 1800s, it has either authorized the tyranny that we have today or was powerless to prevent it. So with that in mind, New Hampshire's always been a very liberty-oriented place, and if that's the benefit of the country, which seems like you've got a real attachment to, then, you know, New Hampshire is sort of the embodiment of that. Don't you agree?
There's a mechanism in the Constitution to change and amend the Constitution. What I think we're saying here is play by the rules.
My feeling is the Constitution was put in place because our forefathers could foresee tyranny down the road and what's happening. They could foresee this.
So would you say it didn't work?
Oh, I think it did work.
The Constitution?
Oh, I think it's working.
But you just said a moment ago that there's tyranny.
No, if there is tyranny.
Is there?
Oh, there's an undermining of our quality, of our standards, and our what we've had and what we're having, what we're seeing. You've got the president trying to make statements about the Second Amendment. He's trying. He's making inroads.
And
he's
basically like George Bush. I mean, this guy's essentially like George Bush III.
You know,
right?
George Bush. I had issues with George Bush.
Yeah.
I have a lot of issues with Obama. Many of us do. I think four of us have a lot of issues with him.
Yeah, I'd rather he be out of my life, but I want them all out of my life. Don't you?
Politicians are politicians.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not doing anything for us, right? They're doing things for themselves.
Votes themselves, the Cadillac plans and the health care. I mean, that's
why would anyone trust those people?
I'm not a Republican.
Yeah. Good.
Okay? I'm a constitutionalist. Or, if you will, what do they call us, conservatives today?
How do you feel about the New Hampshire Constitution?
I like the New Hampshire. I have a copy of that at home. In fact, the spiral bound one Howard made up, they were beautiful.
How do you like Article 10?
Article 10? That's a federal Article 10.
No. New Hampshire. New Hampshire Article 10. The federal one's pretty good too. But
okay.
It's the right of revolution. Right there in New Hampshire's Constitution.
Okay. Do we need a revolution in New Hampshire?
Well, I wouldn't say.
Are you coming from the secession point of view?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't say you would want to do anything violent. I would say what you want is a peaceful. Maybe an evolution. Let's move beyond the idea.
I don't know if it's going to be peaceful. I really don't. You see what happened in Boston. You see what happened in the World Trade Center.
Sure.
I knew somebody that died in that. And
you would agree that both of those were a result of the federal government's constant foreign meddling and bombing of people overseas.
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they
we
said.
We went into Afghanistan as a result. The UN had cited Saddam Hussein numerous times, and but the UN has no feet. They have no sense of acting. They just make laws or try to make laws. The sovereignty of our country. I know I'm jumping around here. But we're a sovereign nation. We don't answer to the UN.
But would it surprise you, and I'm no fan of the UN, but would it surprise you to find out that the people who committed those acts of terror in this country were doing them as a result of the U.S. military invading other countries, specifically in the Middle East?
You're looking at a religion in the Middle East, Islam, that is having a problem with our way of life.
That's a pretty collectivist statement to make. Now, I'm going to just, you're kind of an independent constitutionalist guy. I would think that you would believe in individualism. Would I be mistaken about that?
We have a way of life in this country. Freedom, freedom of religion, not from religion.
But isn't the individual really important? Like it's
We're
important,
all important as individuals.
Sure. So wouldn't it be important to not collectivize everybody in a religion? Wouldn't it be more accurate to say certain radical elements of Islam?
I think you have to meet them at their level.
What does that mean?
Their attacks on us.
They meaning
Islam.
The individuals
Islam.
who attack? See, that's like saying that the Christians attacked Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh was allegedly a Christian.
Allegedly.
So that would be like saying the Christians attacked Oklahoma City. That doesn't make sense, does it?
Inside of Timothy McVeigh's head.
That doesn't make sense. It would make sense, though, to say that the Christians attacked Oklahoma City.
We attacked Islam years ago. That might have been a mistake. right?
It's usually a mistake to attack someone. Sure. Yeah, that much is true. So, have you read the Quran?
No, I have not.
Okay. So I feel like there's some misinformation out there.
Oh, sure. I'm sure there is.
About Islam.
So I think that the more moderate
Muslims... It's a very
Muslims...
peaceful religion,
yes,
though, isn't it?
I think it is, actually.
I think the more moderate Muslims need to take a stand, need to speak out.
You don't think they have been doing that?
No.
Do you know any Muslims?
I don't know of any Muslims personally. I wouldn't know if they're Muslim.
Right.
I know a lot of people. They may be Muslim. I don't know.
So probably you're not tapped into the Muslim community to where you would know if they were speaking out or not, right? They might just be speaking out. In fact, I know some of them.
How about sitting down and debating?
Yeah. What's to debate, though, exactly?
Why are you attacking us? Why shouldn't we attack you back? Why did
So
you do
this
9/11?
is the you and the we, this kind of collectivizing that I was referring to earlier. It's important to look at people as individuals.
Collectivizing, that's an interesting word.
Yeah.
Is that like collective farms?
Well, thinking of people as a group instead of thinking them as individuals is a dangerous thing to do, and I don't think you're intending it as a dangerous thing to do.
Well, we have to identify the individuals, and
right.
To that we have to go to the group and try to look into the group to find out who those individuals are.
Sure. But every group, especially as large as this one, is very diverse. So there are people within that who have differing philosophies, just as within the Christian.
Thank you, sir.
Just as within the Christian religion, there is quite a diversity of different, viewpoints and things like that.
I understand that.
So it's important to keep that in mind.
You've got a heck of a large group in Detroit area, Dearborn, and yet I never hear of those people, collectively or individually, saying this is not good.
Yeah.
This going back and forth is not good. But we have to understand them. They have to understand us.
Sure. And I understand. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time here to answer my questions today.
I appreciate your time.
I'm Ian from freekeen.com. And
freekeen.com?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm also with the New Hampshire Liberty Party, which is a political party, a newer political party in New Hampshire that advocates...
Not to be mistaken with libertarian.
No, not to be mistaken with them, because the libertarians won't come out in favor of secession, and I think it's important for people to start talking about that idea so we can have more freedom in our lifetime.
You consider yourself an anarchist?
No, not at all. I'm a voluntarist. I believe all humans should interact on a consensual basis.
Okay.
I think it's wrong to threaten neighbors with violence if they don't want to go along with whatever our plan is.
I agree. That's a good viewpoint.
Yeah.
I also am one who feels that we should arm ourselves,
sure,
protect ourselves.
Yeah, New Hampshire's a good place for that.
I mean, you can't expect a home to be invaded, and the owner of the home said, "Oh, would you excuse me while I call 911?"
Yeah.
And
well, the good news is
20 minutes
we're in New Hampshire, so I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Rural New Hampshire is all over.
Yeah.
This is part of it right
here.
You have the sheriff's department come out of Keene.
Sure, but you can't count on them to protect you.
Yeah, and they'll take them a while to get here unless they got 70 in the area.
Yeah. Well, that's not how our country was formed anyway. People came here and took care of themselves.
I'm sure Mike Gorecki would do as good of a job as he possibly could do if he were on the scene, but usually you're the one who's got to take care of it, right? So anyway, folks, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Lock and load.
Bye now.
Thank you.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.